I just got here, and it's time to talk about episode 2, Solo Leveling Season 2, and the fight was so fun, having Jinwoo go against the boss there, Baruka, but also the frustration after he failed, even though he won the fight. And the last scene killed me with Jinho in the car. We're gonna get to that. That was so funny there. But anyway, let's get into the episode and talk about it. Now, it picks up straight from last week with them still inside the dungeon there. After the bear fight with Igris, Jinwoo making shadows out of the bears there, and Huang on the outside getting more and more frustrated to find out what was happening, but also thinks that maybe Jinwoo died inside, but then gets suspicious that there might be something more to Jinwoo there, and I have to give major credit to An. Like, the dude is just a normal dude. Like, I would have probably shat my pants doing what he did. He actually covers for Jinwoo against Huang there in that situation. I wouldn't have been able to do what he did, so he might not be the strongest character, far from it in the series, but An is a bro you want on your side, and that was great there. And then Baek also gets into it with Huang here, and Huang just revealed he just wants to kill things for the sake of it. So I can't wait for this guy to get what he deserves. To put characters like that into their place is one of my favorite things in anime here, and Baek is getting more and more interesting. Also, we're gonna get to that towards the end of the episode here. But while they were doing that on the outside, the inside we have Kim Chul still being an asshole here, freezing his ass off, finds bears here heading more and more closer to the camp. And on the outside, Jinchul actually is able to get in between Baek and Huang about to clash, and having two S-rank hunters fighting would of course probably more issues than the Red Gate they had there. So thankfully he's able to stop them, even though he says and admits they are holding back, saying if they were using full power probably his arms would have broken there. But hey, credit for jumping in, even though that situation was happening here. But Huang gets a call and has to leave, even though he wanted to kill Jinwoo regardless of whoever killed his brother here. But we're gonna get back to him into the future of the series, of course. Now, the main focus after the incident outside of the gate, we have inside Kim Chul finding the camp of the E-rankers, getting jealous, just blaming everybody but himself. Characters like this, they're good, but I also hate them at the same time. When you have a character just refusing to admit any guilt, any responsibility, always finding a way, a reason, something to blame on anything else but their own mistakes. And he does exactly that. Blames the girl there for choosing to go with Jinwoo, what was her name? Hygiene here, and starts going after them. Hygiene, my bad, here, and says also Jinwoo is the one to blame. But before he could get close, he gets bitch slapped. I barely even remember that Jinwoo gets in bitch slaps him away, but before he can even recover, the elves are there, and here we get a bit more reveal. There's something more happening with this system. Like, besides the fight that was great, I really like episodes like this where you have small scenes but they're actually really important here. Now, Jinwoo being able to understand the language of the elves, even though he was surprised, he didn't realize that was happening. The others couldn't understand, they're just talking like speed talking or very weird language there, and Jinwoo instantly decapitates the smug elf from episode 1, the one with the arrow that wanted to kill him and challenge him. But Baruka, the boss elf, versus Jinwoo, before their fight starts, actually calls him, "You are not human. What are you doing with humans? We, as in the monster, we hear a voice telling us to kill humans. Why don't we make a deal? Give us the humans, we spare you." But keep in mind, he was talking from a position of strength. Even Jinwoo admits that Baruka is stronger than him. You can feel it there. But Jinwoo asks questions that very important scene, but you can kind of gloss over it a bit. Yes, but who are you? What are you? And while Baruka was saying we are, he glitches a bit and starts repeating the same deal. So they're part of the system, part of that thing. I'm not gonna go into spoilers there, but I love scenes like this. Can easily gloss over something like that, but I like that quite a lot. And of course, Jinwoo, I like he refused the deal instantly. And Baruka saying, yeah, you know, but you're outnumbered. And I'm grinning in the back of my mind. Yeah, well, are you sure about that? He instantly summons the Shadow Army, and you have two armies clashing there, the Elves and the Shadow Army, and Baruka and Jinwoo going at each other's army, slashing and cutting soldiers left and right. But Jinwoo was a bit at a disadvantage. The longer the fight was going, the worse it was about to get for him, because he still has that thing he has to overcome. He has the army, but he's still losing mana. Like, the soldiers can't be killed, but he's losing more and more mana the longer that gets here. And him admitting that Baruka is stronger than him, they finally exchange name and they clash here. And I love the dynamic between them, the fight. Fighting somebody stronger than you have to use everything to your advantage, and that's exactly what Jinwoo does. Using the mages against him didn't really work, but the more things you throw at somebody like this, the easier it is to outplay them, not just brute force win this fight. Because if it was just a fair 1 versus 1 straight power up, Jinwoo would have lost here, but he was the smarter fighter in this case. And using Kim Chul, he finally had a purpose in his life. Kim Chul wanted to kill Jinwoo out of anger, but you can instantly tell where Jinwoo makes a smoke screen with the snow and everything there with Igris, turns Kim Chul into a shadow, and we get to see a bit of the flashback there. And then we have a 3 versus 1, the new shadow, Kim Chul being named Iron from now on, Jinwoo and Igris versus Baruka. And I like that Iron is kind of like the tank of this party right now, and he actually has a taunt. I don't think Baruka realized he was getting taunted there by Iron. And I think a lot of people didn't. Like, when Iron was screaming and doing those, you can see Baruka instantly turning and going for the taunt like a gaming mechanic there. And Jinwoo is even able to stab him, but Baruka actually dodges his vital organs being hit, but realizes he lost the elves, but still decides to go after the leader there. And Jinwoo, using, like I said, everything he had, that's why this fight was great. He throws the dagger and serves 2 purposes. Lowers the guard of Baruka, thinking Jinwoo did something stupid, and also gives him a chance to win even more, because he's able to use the ruler authority, the telekinesis, to get the dagger back there. And then Iron Bear grabs Baruka, the mage is blasting him. You're still hanging on, like, that guy can take a beating, to say the least. But Jinwoo, using the stealth he got from last fight here, stabs him. And then Iron has anger management issues. Like, the comedy was great also in this episode. Besides just the action, he just kept the first splatter was great, took him out, but then he kept doing it just to make sure. Like, Cautious Hero, if you haven't watched Cautious Hero, make sure you check that one out. And even the face Iron Kim Chul was making, why is this so weird? Like, the shadows were so expressive, that was great. And even the smaller one, the mages, the soldiers, looking, oh no, nothing, keep going, keep smashing. Keep doing it there. This episode was so fun here. But Jinwoo goes back to Shadow Baruka, and we're gonna get to that. This is why he got frustrated here. They finally head out, and Baek was there waiting for them. He was thinking that Kim Chul made it out, but no, it's Park and the other guy, the girl, also here, and Jinwoo with the girl that he had under his wing. And of course, Baek was completely shocked, wanting to talk to Jinwoo, and here was another great interaction between them. Hey, we need to talk here. No, not right now. Baek started insisting, actually transforming a bit, kind of like how he did against Huang there, and Jinwoo insists even more, like looking at him, turning his head, and the glowing eyes from both of them. shouldn't you be thanking me? I saved some of your guildmates, right? And Bayek recognized that. He didn't insist a bit more instead of creating another incident of a fight, and probably even got a bit intimidated, realizing that Jinwoo is actually angry, not knowing why, and just tells An, hey, do whatever it takes, bring him to our guild here, realizing they need Jinwoo on their side. And I can't wait for more Baek and Jinwoo interactions and more people actually realizing how strong he is, or finally getting a bit to the big leagues here, so to say, with some things. But we still have, remember, there's still some things Jinwoo needs to do, and even more after this episode. Finally leave, and Jinwoo revealed that he has Baruka's knife, so he has another weapon, but he got really frustrated that he couldn't make Baruka one of his shadows, because remember, Baruka is stronger than him, so he couldn't make it. He fell 3 times, so no more tries after that, so kind of felt like he worked all of this for nothing there. So we're not gonna have a Baruka shadow, but then he remembers he at least got the consolation prize with Kim Chul, the new iron now, the tank here. So kind of takes that a bit better, but we see the frustration. And again, I love the actor for Jinwoo so much. The voice actor does an amazing job, especially at the inner monologue when they add that bass a bit to the voice. Great. And probably my favorite comedy scene in the episode, we have Jinho, the guy with the gear that we had from season 1 there, that they decided to make this guild together there. The plan goes to Jinwoo, and the girl is also there. She definitely has a crush on Jinwoo now, but they get into the car, she snuggles up to him, and Jinho jumps the gun, to say the least. He thinks that Jinwoo slept with her and just says, hey boss, you know she's underage, right? And Jinwoo is like, so what? That just killed me. That was such a funny scene. And he's probably gonna run with that. But I like, nah, no comment. He kept driving. He couldn't say anything. But of course they didn't sleep together. He doesn't know that. Just a fun misunderstanding there. So yeah, great episode here. The action, the comedy, the characters, they have done a great job with the Red Gate incident here, and I'm excited. I can't wait for next week to come. Season 2 started off with a blast. Like I said, Season 1 was the prologue, and a lot of people missed that so much about the series. That was just the beginning. They even added some extra scenes there, and probably the biggest mistake they did with Season 1, honestly, I even said it back then when I was doing videos on Season 1, they should have aired the first 2 episodes back to back at the same time. That's probably the biggest thing they did. And then we also had the recap episode that happened, the most downvoted episode ever, and a lot of people, I think, went into Solo Leveling with wrong expectations. This is a power fantasy. If you go with that expectation, you're gonna have a blast with a series like this. It's a reason why it's so popular. But if you go with wrong expectation into it, you're gonna hate it. So again, I'm probably gonna say this a couple more times here, but yeah, Solo Leveling episode 2 has been a blast. Let me know what you guys thought about it in the comments down below. What was your favorite scene, and are you excited for more? And as always, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, helps me quite a lot, and you guys get the latest videos on the series that I follow. So keep enjoying Solo Leveling. I'm gonna see you again on the next one. Bye bye.